It's time for another match preview here on the channel, and it's Rangers taking on St Mirren. St Mirren, who have been doing pretty well as of late. Of course, recently they beat the mighty Celtic in the league 2-0, which I actually thought was a really good performance. They won their last game as well. St Mirren, would you believe it or not, the Buddies sit third. If St Mirren beat Rangers, they go within a point of us, which would be absolutely insane. Of course, we sit 2 points behind Celtic, and then we sit 4 points in front of them. We're just off the back of, in my opinion, a very humiliating defeat against Liverpool. I don't even want to talk about it, man. Like, see people that use the excuse that you don't have the same amount of quality. That's not even valid, man. That's valid if you actually turn up and play good and then you get done by real bits of quality. I'm not saying that the Trent free kick ain't. But see, when there's so much sloppiness in the play, like, you looked at that United team against a team called Omnoa, who Neil Lennon manages, funny enough. I mean, how can they score 2 goals against Man United, a team that's operated on a budget, an empty can of Coke? There's numerous games throughout the, you can just hink it, even this season. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I just don't understand people's logic. Like, last season, we're competing against Leipzig and Dortmund, beating them, drawing with them. I don't understand how those Champions League teams, I mean, Lyon and Leipzig within the last couple of years have been Champions League semi-finalists, and yet, we can't compete. I don't understand what people's point is. I mean, I'm not saying we should come into this group and fucking walked it, but you have to compete in the games. And did we compete? Did we? Fuck, man. We competed against Napoli at home. Will that mean we'll compete at home against Ajax and Liverpool? I'm praying for third place, is what it is. Don't know too much about it, but less about Liverpool. That is not until Wednesday, 12th of October. But anyway, team news for Rangers St Mirren. James Sands will be available after suspension, of course. Champions League one. Kamar Roof is back in training. Don't really know how that's going to go. I mean, I've seen pictures. Follow the guy on Instagram. He looks like he's getting back into the fitness, but I don't know, man. It just seems like Roof picks up a fucking injury then disappears for like 2 months at a time. Is what it is. Also, of course, we already knew this, that Tom Lawrence, John Souttar, Helander and Hadji won't be back until after the World Cup. Very disappointing from a Hadji fan perspective. I'm a fan of all these players, of course, but it's like, Hadji's been out a lot longer than the rest. Helander was out very long, came back, then got re-injured basically in the match he came back in, which wasn't good. But we knew about all these injuries, so it's not like there's any fresh ones, but it is what it is. St Mirren, though, Juna Ayunga will miss through suspension. Curtis Main and Alex Grieve are doubts, as so is Ryan Strain, their winger. Curtis Main, that would be a massive miss for St Mirren. Also, of course, Eamon Brophy out, and also Yanni. So, I mean, they're missing quite a lot of strikers. It would be good if Curtis Main was out. I mean, they're going to try and play pretty, compact, and, like most teams would do at Ibrox. But I feel like we'll win this. Like, if we slip up in the next couple of weeks, I mean, like, we've got to be real. The way we're playing the Champions League, we're probably going to hold 3 straight L's in that. Gio is going to need to rely on the league form not to get sacked at this job, right? People can beat around the bush and say, I'm no the manager because we only lost 2-0 at Anfield and that sort of patter, but you can only lose so many games when managing Rangers, especially when we're not fucking, just up for the Championship, and we're not expected to go into every game and pump every team like 10-0, Now, kind of is the expectation, and Gio, mate, you've been jobbed out, you've been jobbing it, and you've been given enough time. I mean, a lot of people's been calling for the guy's head for a decent while, but I'm just seeing consistent shite from the guy. Like, once you think he's got over the hill, he's turned the corner, it's just another problem that's coming back, reappearing, and I'm not impressed. But hopefully I'll be impressed tomorrow, working, but I'll be back for the game, and I'm hoping that Rangers can win. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to the Glasgow Rangers. I'm going to go with 2 for Kolak, 1 for James Tavernier. And please, guys, build a bit of momentum for the Liverpool game. Would ye? Come on, fuck. But until next time, peace.